Hey friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report, because without you guys, this literally does not work. And let's get open for business. I apologize, guys. You know, I am always going 100 miles an hour. I'm always trying to do stuff. I try and do my Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys report first thing in the morning before I go off to work, and usually I just record it, upload it, boom, get out on the road because I got a day job. I got to pay the bills. And unfortunately, I keep forgetting, because I'm not a sound guy, it's just me doing this stuff, that there's a different setting between using the webcams versus my other camera that's over here. And if you have the sound up too loud, what happens is, as it goes through the iRig, is if it's too loud, it just locks it. And I had the computer too loud when I did this interview with Dak Prescott this morning. So I want to redo that, and that way I'll bring it to you guys. But before we do that, let me take care of some business. That's right, we're trying to run a business here. Tonight, our live stream, I hope you guys tune in. I know we've all got the I miss football blues. We got 4 more weeks until training camps open up, and it's the lull. It's the quiet before the storm. It's before that marathon starts off. And I know we're all missing football, so tune in tonight, because we're going to have Okoye. That's right, Mr. Mythbuster himself will be joining us tonight at our live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern, as well as we're bringing the law. And the Law Nation will be joining in, just in case there's a little problem between me and Okoye. We got the law taking care of business. So tune in tonight for our live stream. We'll be taking your questions and things like that. And you guys know you'll be part of the show. So let's go through and see this interview. This is actually, I've already seen it now since this morning. That's a little bit different direction than what happened with Skip, okay, and Shannon Sharp. Interview where they try to talk about the penis pistols and things like that. I have to actually commend Mike Farello on this, because I've been one that has been on his behind, because he was the one who originally started the big rumor of Dez Bryant video might be out there that's 10 times worse than the Ray Rice one. Well, we're still waiting for that video. So I've not been a fan of Mike Farello's, but I actually like this interview and the way he takes it. So let's check out this video, and hopefully I got the sound right this time on this.
Promised. He is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, entering his 3rd year in the National Football League, 2nd summer promoting the Ready, Raise, Rise campaign. It's Dak Prescott. Let me say this before we get started. Dak, you're calling on Americans touched by cancer to take part in the Pick Your Power Challenge. All people need to do is share a photo to ReadyRaiseRise.com holding a sign that says #ReadyRaiseRise to showcase their inner power. Reaching the goal of 100 photo submissions will result in a $250,000 donation to participating cancer advocacy groups. A great cause, and great to talk to you again as always. Dak, how's everything?
It was great. Thank you for having me on.
Well, it's great to have you. And one thing that I noticed, because sometimes I do a little research, I did not know that you went to the same high school as one of my all-time favorite figures in the National Football League, the late Joe Delaney. We're coming up on the 35th anniversary of his passing. Now, the vast majority of NFL players not alive when he gave his life in an effort to save 3 drowning children in 1983. What should today's players know and appreciate about like Joe Delaney?
Exactly what you said. The selflessness of just a guy not even knowing how to swim himself, but jumps into a pond, jumps into a body of water to go save 3 kids without knowing how to swim. Just with being an NFL Rookie of the Year, just with the promise that he had in the NFL, to still just do that but doing it to save those kids, it's awesome. And he comes from a great family that they all still live out there in Halton.
And people do a great job of remembering him. It comes up every year. We write about it every year on June the 29th, and people need to understand the story of Joe Delaney and what he sacrificed for strangers in order to save them, even though he knew going in he was taking a great risk for himself. Now, Dak, you are entering year 3 of your career, as I mentioned earlier, getting around, doing some things in between off-season program and the start of training camp. What's your objective? What's your goal during this downtime in order to be as ready as you can be for the start of training camp?
Yeah, I mean, just finishing minicamp and OTAs, it's great. It's great to take some time off and to partner up and do things like I'm doing today is partner up with Bristol Myers Squibb in this Ready Raise Rise campaign. It's important for me to get out there to make a difference, hopefully to just inspire and help somebody and help a life or help a few lives if I can.
Amen.
But resting as well and just getting myself ready to go in this month before training camp.
Now, when you're in a place like New York City, and a lot of famous people, there are a lot of celebrities, there are a lot of athletes mingling from time to time. Do Giants fans notice you, and what do they say when they see you?
Yeah, Giants fans, they definitely notice me. And then it doesn't help when I go to a Yankees game and put myself out there. So they just holler, you know, the Giants slogans and things like that. And then the couple of Cowboy fans that are a little timid to let the people of New York know how much they're Cowboy fans, they come and whisper it to me. So it's interesting to see the differences.
Well, Cowboys and Giants fans should be united in a common goal this year. It's called taking down the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions. When you see a team from your division climb to the top of the mountain, win the Super Bowl, what does that do to you by way of motivation, dedication, everything you need to do to try to match what your rivals have accomplished?
Yeah, it's just that. You just said it's motivation. Seeing the team, one of the teams that you play 2 times a year, as you said, climb to the top and go win a Super Bowl, it's motivation. You want to get back out there. You want to show that team, you want to show other teams in the division what your team is and how y'all can come out and play and compete each and every week. So to have the reigning Super Bowl champions in our division, I know those would be 2 fun games to look forward to.
You mentioned you're at the Yankees game. If you weren't playing football, what sport would you want to play professionally?
I would want to play baseball, but I think I may have a better shot at basketball. I grew up playing a little bit of basketball as well as football, but baseball just seems like you can play for a long time, get the guaranteed money, and just your body be okay at the end of it. Basketball is not far off of it, but baseball is still the American dream.
How much wear and tear have you endured in 2 years of starting for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, not that much. I mean, I'm fortunate to play behind the best offensive line in the NFL. That they definitely take care of me. The hits and the wear and tear that I take, I put on myself getting past the line of scrimmage and things like that. So not too much. I'd say most of my wear and tear came from college, carrying the ball 20 times a game.
Well, you know, great football players are always intent on finding ways to make themselves better, to get out of their comfort zone, challenge themselves. What are you doing this year to try to make one specific aspect of your game better?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a young player, so I'm trying to work on every aspect of my game if I can, but it's just about being ahead. It's about anticipating throws, being ahead of the defense with my knowledge, and being on top of their scheme and what they're doing so I can play ahead of the game.
And when you reflect on what happened last season, a major disappointment, high expectations for the Cowboys after what happened in your rookie season of 2016, now that you've had several months to reflect on it, what do you think went wrong last year for the Cowboys?
I mean, we had a few things. First off, we just didn't win enough games. That's what went wrong. But it was a few things, and it was a learning season not only for me but for the team, for a bunch of the young guys that are on our team. And losing Ezekiel Elliott for the time we did, losing some guys on the offensive line, Sean Lee being not always being healthy, things like that. I mean, that can hurt a team. So what we've learned is the next man has to step up. The next man has to do better. Other guys got to do a better job of filling in that role for those guys. And it was a learning season.
You mentioned the absence of Ezekiel Elliott during the 6-game suspension. I watched that excellent All or Nothing series on Amazon, and it struck me as not just what went on while he was gone, but as that suspension was hanging over the team and hanging over him, it seemed to be an issue. It seemed to be a distraction. Did it feel like a distraction for you?
Not for me particularly, but Zeke's somebody that I'm really close with, and he's a good friend of mine. And when something like that's hanging over your head, I'm sure it's a distraction. I'm sure it was tough for him, and I know those few weeks were definitely tough on him at that time, and I think he handled it the right way and came back ready to play.
Well, when he spent all last year, or at least most of it, carrying that weight around mentally, I look at Ezekiel Elliott as a guy who could maybe explode in 2018 without that extra burden.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have a good year. Just the strides he's made as a player on the field and then off the field as well, just his leadership growth. I believe he's going to have a great year.
Help the fans understand what it means for you as a quarterback when you've got a running back who can consistently gain yards, consistently gash the defense. When it's time to do play action, when it's time to just drop back on a pass pattern, they're worried about him. How much easier does it make your job?
Yeah, it opens up the passing game, just as you said. I mean, when you can hand the ball off and your running back go get first downs on first down, it's important. It helps the whole offense. It helps the whole scheme of the team. Keeps the defense off the field, particularly to a quarterback. I mean, then when you hit the play action, as you said, the linebackers are up another level. They're up too close to the line of scrimmage. The defensive backs are peeking into the backfield, given a second or half a second or whatever we may need for holes to open up in the back half of the defense.
You said at one point this offseason that the Cowboys don't need a number one receiver. And something I noticed after Calvin Johnson retired from the Lions, it kind of opened up Matthew Stafford's ability to just throw to the open guy. When you don't have that number one receiver, there's not that extra element of, I have to get him the football. Do you think that will be a benefit for you? You just throw to who's open without worrying about feeding the ball to any one person a specific number of times?
I mean, it could be. When you have those great players on your team, Dez Bryant, as you said, the Calvin Johnsons, the Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown, their presence and what they've done in their time in the league, you want to get them the ball. And it's not that you feel you're forced to or you have to, but you want to see them make a play with it. So that's kind of where that whole deal comes into it. And when you can get out there and just spread it around, don't care who has how many touches or not, and you leave the game with almost 10 targets to 10 different guys or so or something like that, it's usually a good day at the office.
It's been more than 2 months since the Cowboys parted ways with Dez Bryant. How surprised are you that another team hasn't signed him yet?
I'm not surprised just because of the contract talk. I mean, the language, the wants from one end to the other end, from the team to the player, the fit that Dez is looking for, I don't know, and I don't have the answers for that. And I know he turned down the one offer that he had publicly anyway, so I'm not too sure, but I know he's a great player, and I know he'll definitely be on the team by week one, that's for sure.
If a coach or a GM of another team were to call you up and say, hey, Dak, tell us what we need to know about Dez. Is this somebody we should want? What would you say?
I'd say yes. So you're going to get one of the most passionate players in the game of football. And I know that departure, and I know the person Dez Bryant is. He's going to come out better, way better on this end of the deal.
It's almost a given now that quarterbacks and receivers will get together during the dead spots on the calendar. Are there plans for you to get together with your new core of receivers and work on getting to know each other even better in advance of training camp?
Yeah, there are definitely plans, and they're in the working, trying to figure out the dates in this next month that we all have off, or majority of us can come together and spend a few days, 3 or 4 days of, as you said, just getting better, working our chemistry on the field. And we've got a great group of receivers. The new guys come in, the young guys, and then the vets that have been there, Cole Beasley. And so we have a great camaraderie there. So it'll just be fun getting together, training in the mornings and hanging out in the evenings.
You know, people on the outside, Dak, have said that it appeared that you and Dez Bryant never fully meshed the way that maybe he did with your predecessor, Tony Romo. How do you react when you hear people suggest that the camaraderie, the chemistry, the relationship wasn't where it needed to be between you and Dez?
Yeah, I mean, me and Dez had a great relationship. On the field, it didn't always pan out, but off the field, we were great, and we put in a lot of time together to get better. So sometimes the things just don't correlate, and that was one of those cases. But me and Dez had a great relationship. We continue to talk, and just the on the field, wish it could have been better on my end, getting him the ball.
You'll likely have a very long career in the NFL, and you're just getting started, but there are 3 former Cowboys that have high-profile broadcasting jobs. Do you see that and say, boy, that would be nice to trade in the star for a microphone at some point down the road?
Well, hopefully I'm looking way down the road, so those thoughts haven't creeped in my head just yet.
Well, on the way out, give us a little more information about the Ready, Raise, Rise campaign and let folks know where they need to go to learn more about it.
Yeah, you said it best at the beginning. Go to ReadyRaiseRise.com and just educate yourself on the awareness and the immuno-oncology research that's happening. And it's just focusing on the uniqueness of each cancer. And not only that, it's about helping the immune system fight off cancer itself. And do that. When you go to the page, take on our challenge. Our challenge for everyone out there is the Pick Your Power, PIC, like taking a photo and show us how unique and how powerful you are dealing with cancer or without dealing with cancer. Either way, it helps. And as you said, Bristol Myers Squibb has promised to donate $250,000. So let's accept that challenge and get it done.
Well, Dak, it's a great cause, and we're glad you're part of it, and we appreciate you making us part of this effort to get the word out. We look forward to talking to you soon. All the best as the season approaches. And again, congratulations on your great success through 2 seasons.
Yeah, appreciate it again. Thank you for having me on the talk.
That's a great interview to me. The Des Bryant, they tried to bring it around and things with it, and there's nothing on that interview that could be billboard, locker room material or anything like that. And Mike Farella didn't try and set him up as much as, say, Shannon Sharp did. Didn't pull the good old hater role and things like that. But we'll definitely be talking about this as well as everything getting ready for the season with Okoye and Law Nation tonight. I hope you guys tune in. And as always, I try and do my best out there. Sometimes I get hurried trying to get these things done and up and all that, and I make mistakes. So forgive me, bear with me, understand that this is not my job, my full-time job at least. But we'll get it straight and we'll get better and we'll keep working at it. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Joe Boo, and I will see you guys tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. See you soon.